Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Battlefield 4 News, and in this issue we have a major blog update from DICE. So they finally realised that they haven't really told us anything about the major issues affecting the game since December when they put them on the top issues tracker, and they're addressing this with what they're calling Addressing Netcode in Battlefield 4, which is a post on their blog. And it's this blog post we're going to have a look at today. Now, unfortunately, I have a terrible throat at the moment, so I'm probably going to narrate this in little sections and drink a lot of water. But if my voice starts going in various points, that's the reason why. So, let's have a look at their introduction. We at DICE are committed to improving the overall Battlefield 4 multiplayer experience for our players. Some issues, commonly referenced in conjunction to netcode, are preventing Battlefield 4 from performing optimally for everyone, and with this post we would like to explain what we are doing to address these problems. So netcode is in inverted commas because netcode as a thing doesn't exist. No matter what you may see on the forums, there is no such thing as netcode. Fixing the commonly nicknamed netcode issues, problems ranging between faulty networking latency compensation and glitches in the gameplay simulation itself, is one of the top priorities of DICE. We'd like to take a moment to discuss how we are addressing these issues, as this is a very hot topic for many of our fans. Now, this has been a hot topic since December and the game's launch, so I've got a feeling that DICE are about to bring out some updates to solve a lot of these problems. Otherwise, I don't think they'd be lifting their head above the parapet and risk getting it shot off. The game receives update from the game server and displays these to the player using a system called latency compensation. This system makes sure players move around naturally on your screen when network updates arrive. We have found and fixed several issues with the latency compensation and thereby decrease the impressions of one-hit kills in the game. So this would seem to suggest that DICE have messed up the latency compensation of Battlefield 4. Now, what latency compensation does is try to balance out everyone's experience. So if you've got a ping time of 25 and somebody else has got a ping time of 100 and you're shooting at each other, it's got to balance it out so that you both see the results at the same time, and this clearly isn't happening in the game at the moment. So let's have a look at what DICE have marked for fixing or investigating. The first of these is rubber banding, and it says they've made several different server updates to try and solve this, and they have two new fixes coming along. One is for packet loss and another is for a customized screen bug. Now, it doesn't explain what a customized screen bug is, but it does say that they're going to be collecting data on when rubber banding is occurring. And if you don't know what rubber banding is, it's when you see a character suddenly leap from one place to another, and it's usually because your client is either not receiving data fast enough or is not processing data fast enough, and so it's missed out a few steps. The next issue is kill camera delay / player death sync. So it would appear the kill camera is appearing on screen before you're actually dead, and that the damage indicators, blood effects and health bar in the HUD are out of sync with what's actually happening in the game. Now, that's pretty major. It would explain some of the one-hit kills because you weren't actually dead when you died, but 3 months down the line to fix this? Come on. Now, tick rate. You will often hear tick rate thrown around in the forums as being Battlefield 4's problem. And if you just read up about it and see what tick rate is, you'll realise that it's not the problem for Battlefield 4. Tick rate is how fast information is sent between client and server, and Battlefield 4 has two different tick rates. The client sends information to the server at a rate of 10 Hz, that's 10 times a second. The server sends information to the client at a rate of 30 Hz, or 30 times a second. A lot of people on the forums will say that this tick rate is too slow because other games have faster tick rates. Counter-Strike Go has a tick rate of 64, and does it make a difference? For Battlefield 4, it's not going to make much difference. Okay, let's have a look at it this way. The fastest gun in Battlefield 4 fires at 1,000 rounds a minute. So if we look at an update being a tenth of a second, the fastest gun in Battlefield 4 can only fire 1.6 rounds per tick. So let's say those rounds are doing 20 damage each. That means it's going to take 0.4 of a second for you to kill someone, and in that time your client will have sent 4 updates to the server, and the server will have sent 12 updates back to you. So the update speed isn't the problem. The client and server can clearly send enough information and receive enough information in that time to keep up to date. What is happening is with how that information is interpreted. That is where the problem lies. So when you see somebody saying the tick rate isn't fast enough, they're wrong. So the next issue is no registered damage. And this is a problem where you fire an opponent, you get hit markers, but you don't do any damage to them. Now they've added some code into the game so that they can track when this actually happens, and then they can see what's causing it. So the data that they're getting is hopefully going to help them fix it. And the next issue is instant death while sprinting. Now I've had this a couple of times, but for me it seemed to be while sprinting and jumping. I jumped over a fence and got catapulted 20 feet across the field. So this is apparently caused by a mathematical error in the character physics, and they're going to fix it in the upcoming patch. Next we have some various items. Issues with Levolution being out of sync. If you break the wall on flood zone and the water pours out, you'll notice that the water level doesn't match up with when the water starts pouring or the sounds. Shots appear to be fired in the wrong direction. I think most people have experienced being shot by somebody who apparently is facing the other way, and vehicles outside the infantry area not taking damage when fired at. It's fairly obvious that infantry have an out of bounds and then vehicles have an out of bounds, and certain missile systems are just turning off when they leave the infantry out of bounds. And they mention the network icons, which I'll go into more detail in the next section. So at the end of January they added the 2 new network icons, and these are to show you what your connection to the server is like. So the first of these is the lag icon, and that's the little clock symbol, and that shows you when you're getting lag to the server. Now this could be for many reasons, but basically it means that the information you're getting from the server is out of date. And the second icon is the packet loss icon. Now this means that not all the information that's being sent is arriving, and basically this will cause your screen to stutter sometimes, or you'll get rubber banding with people leaping around. If you get either of these icons on a regular basis, it's best to check your connection, maybe restart your router, or just go on another server and give that a try. So the next section is problems that DICE say they fixed. So the first of these fixed issues is kill card shows 0 health, and this is down to a mixture of a latency compensation and just bad coding. It would appear that the client would assume you hit him with 5 bullets doing this much damage, therefore you killed him, and would tell you killed him before the server had confirmed he was dead. But because of their latency compensation, the server turns around and goes, actually, you died before he did, and your last 2 bullets wouldn't hit him, so he's still alive. So you'd see him run off on the kill cam even though your client was telling you he'd got 0 health. The next fixed issue is broken collision. We have fixed instances of broken collision that made it impossible for players to shoot past broken objects. This is invisible walls. And yes, they fixed some of them, but there are a ton of them out there. Most collapsed buildings have invisible walls in. The tower in Firestorm has an invisible wall all around it. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do on this. It's not fixed. Next is crosshairs disappearing and hit markers disappearing. So in firefights, players on PC would experience their crosshair disappearing, resulting in hit markers also disappearing. This would happen when certain player gadgets were deployed by other players. Now I believe this is things like the SUAV and the MAV. If someone deployed an active gadget that didn't have hit markers, then your hit markers could disappear in the confusion. I have no idea why that would happen, but that is what I understand from my research. It could be completely wrong, but that's how I understand it. The next item fixed is hit impact sounds. Impact sounds did not match the number of bullet impacts, causing players to feel they died too quickly. So what they did is they put a little cooldown on the bullet hits. So the reason for this is so that you heard the bullet sound properly, rather than it being interrupted by the next bullet sound. But because they put that delay in, if you got hit by 3 or 4 bullets, sometimes you would only hear one impact. And the next item is the headshot icon. So they reintroduced the headshot icon so players could see that they were getting shot in the head. Seems fairly simple. And they finish off with this little statement. We want to assure you that we are constantly investigating or are already in the process of updating all these items and several more that you've had concerns with, and that we will continue to do so with your help. Please continue to send us your feedback, and thank you for your continued support. So that's quite a frank admission from DICE as to the state of the game, and it would seem that their latency compensation is the biggest villain of the piece, and hopefully that will get fixed. It's got me thinking that maybe I should do a video explaining what the netcode actually is, the elements involved in it, and how the client server communication works and what the latency compensation does. So I might do some more research on that and come up with something in the next week or so. But that's it for this episode of Battlefield 4 News. Thanks for watching.